all to a new series on the Materian Skill of Gaming. I am the Materian, bringing you some Yu-Gi-Oh character deck profiles, and what better way to start it with Yami Yugi and his Duelist Kingdom profile. Starting off, Yami Yugi's Duelist Kingdom profile, guys, is none other than its Ace Monster and Dark Magician. 2500 attack, 2100 defense. The ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense. Love the artwork of this card. And he's got so many of them too, so it was a pretty hard choice, but I decided in the end to go with this one. Next up in the deck profile is good old Summon Skull. 2500 attack, but only 1200 defense. Still a very useful monster. Only requires one tribute to get him onto the field. Next up, Guy the Fierce Knight. Useful card for Yugi. 2300 attack, 2100 defense. Good old Cursed Dragon, 2000 attack, 1500 defense. I went with Catapult Turtle in the deck, 1000 attack, 2000 defense. It's this effect that I really like about this card. You tribute one monster, half the attack of the tributed monster gets inflicted on the opponent's life points. Very useful if you get him into defense. Can sort of burn off the opponent very slowly. Magician of Black House. Our first of its two ritual monsters in this deck. 2800 attack, 2600 defense. Pretty much love the card, and pretty much was very well used in the duel between him and Pegasus. Next up, Blackluster Soldier, our second ritual monster. 3000 attack, 2500 defense. Move on to the first of our two fusion monsters in this deck. Guy the Dragon Champion requires Guy the Fierce Knight and Cursed Dragon. Used in the duel between Yugi and Weevil. 2600 attack, 2100 defense. I'm pretty sure he used it in some of the other duels throughout Duelist Kingdom as well, but pretty cool card. This card is situational. It requires probably to have Joey having red eyes in the graveyard or something, but I'll put B-Skull Dragon in this deck profile. 3200 attack, 2500 defense, but more than likely you're not going to see Yugi being able to play this card. Now we're up to the 4-star or less monsters now. Good old Beaver Warrior. Who remembers the good old Beaver Warrior OTK? 1200 attack, 1500 defense. Pretty much a cool card. Celtic Guardian or Celtic Guardian. Pretty much you used to see this guy be the fodder. He's usually brought out first, more often than not. Pretty cool card. 1400 attack, 1200 defense. Another card, Feral Imp, 1300 attack, 1400 defense. Yeah, another card that Yugi used to bring up either first or second, and it used to get wiped out pretty much quite often. Pretty much one of my favourite cards of Yugi's profile. Good old Kribo. Kribo with a few of the other cards that are in this profile as well. Pretty much multiply and a few other things. Very useful in terms of stalling and protecting your life points. Good old Wing Dragon Guardian of the Fortress 1 is our next monster. Another monster with 1400 attack, 1200 defense. Good old Silver Fang, 1200 attack, 800 defense. Pretty much Yugi's deck's got a couple of key cards, I reckon. I'm going to call it now. This is one of them that I've gone with. Giant Soldier of Stone. 1300 attack doesn't seem too much, but it's his defense, more or less, that you bank on. Getting like cards in the end on the field like Summon Skull, Dark Magician as mentioned earlier. Similar to Giant Soldier Stone's Mystical Elf, just with a bit less attack. 2000 defense again. In In my opinion, one of Yugi's better 4-star monsters in his deck is his good old Komori Dragon. Used a bit later in the Duelist Kingdom, it's sort of used in between Duelist Kingdom and Battle City. 1500 attack, 1200 defense. Good old Graphor is their next monster. Good useful defense of 1500. Not so much as attack of 1200. I went with this card. Now this is an interesting call, mainly because I think Yugi only used it once. In the duel between him and Bakura when they're at the campfire, and when Bakura sends him to a shadow game and the characters are actually the duel monsters. But I've gone with Magician of Faith because he did technically use it. 300 attack, 400 defense. Very useful, gets to target a spell card, so we've got plenty of spell cards in this deck, so why not put him in? Well, not put her in. Mammoth Graveyard, or G-Mammy, as the Yu-Gi-Oh community that I'm part of knows him as. 1200 attack, 800 defense. Put one of these guys into the deck. Sangan, 1000 attack and 600 defense. The spell cards. Now in Yami Yugi's Duelist Kingdom profile, got 2 Pot of Greeds. What does this card do? Let me know in the comments. It'd be quite amusing to see what you guys come up with for Pot of Greed. Polymerization, pretty much as explained before. Black Beast Skull Drag is more than likely not to be played in a duel with this deck. So more or less I've only gone with one poly to get Guy the Dragon Champion out. 2 ritual cards greet us next, guys. Magician of Black House's Black Magic Ritual and Black Luster Ritual for Black Luster Soldier. Both require a tribute of 8 or more. Right, we've got Multiply next in the profile. Multiply, pretty much tribute 1 face-up Karibo and special summon as many tokens as possible. Pretty much a good stall tactic to build up your resources. Card Yugi used quite well in the anime, his good old trusty Swords of Revealing Light. Pretty much gave him 3 turns to like build up his resources and make a good old comeback against like villains like Panic, for example, and I think he used it against Merrick, I believe. Right, I've got a good story about Book of Secret Arts before we continue with the profile. Couldn't find this card in my collection, realised there's an LOB. I haven't opened up too many LOB packs, Legend of Blue Eyes packs, and had to go and order it. But anyhow, it gives the spellcaster monster an extra 300 attack and defense. So Dark Magician and Magician of Black House are the recipients of this card. Next up is good old Monster Reborn. Such a broken card. Target 1 monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it. No wonder it was banned for such a long time. I think it's back in real life with an errata. Now this is a pretty useful card for Yugi. Horn of the Unicorn gives his monsters an extra 700 attack and defense. Can be used, for example, on his weaker monsters like Celtic Guardian, Feral Wimp, Giant Soldier Stone, those kind of monsters, where it can be used for his stronger monsters, give them that extra edge. But anyhow, very useful card. Gone with good old Mystical Moon. Now Mystical Moon, I believe in this deck profile can only be played on Beaver Warrior, but we had to get enough cards to make the profile, so Mystical Moon makes the cut. Maku the Magical Mist, play this with Summon Skull, and pretty much if it's put on Summon Skull, you probably destroy most of the monsters on the other side of the field, if not all of them. Useful card, D-Spell, that Yugi's got in his deck. Now D-Spell, pretty much you can select one set card as well, and you can see if it's a trap or anything, but if it's a spell face down, you destroy it, so that's quite useful. Very useful card as well in Yami Yugi's deck profile for Duelist Kingdom, Brain Control. Pay 800 points, take control of one of the opponent's monsters. So say for example, if we're doing a character deck profile against Kyber's Blue Eyes or something, you can take his Blue Eyes, use it against them, and then possibly tribute it off for something else that's in our hand. Another useful card are Yugi's Mystic Box. So you target one monster in your opponent's side of the field, and pretty much you give control of a pretty weak monster for the opponent to take hold of. Just a good old board wipe to end the spell cards, guys. Dark Hole, pretty much self-explanatory, destroy all monsters on the field. A few traps to wrap up the deck profile of Yami Yugi and his Duelist Kingdom profile, starting off with good old Magical Hats. Magical Hats is a very useful card in terms of protecting your monster, or giving you a huge possibility of protecting your monster. Grab a couple of cards out of your deck as well, place them on the monster zones along with your monster that's face down, shuffle it around, and your opponent's got to try and work out where the monster is. Big card for Yugi, good old Mirror Force is our next one. Destroys all monsters in attack position if the opponent has attacked. So that's very good protection, save for his weaker monsters, enabling Yugi to get his bigger cards out, like Summon Skull, Dark Magician, etc. Next up, Spellbinding Circle. Spellbinding Circle is just pretty much a good stall tactic, just pretty much you play it on a strong monster and they can't attack. We'll swap it into defense mode. And the last card of the Duelist Kingdom deck profile is the Eye of the Truth. Now, to be honest, I probably wouldn't play this card too often. Even though your opponent has his hand revealed, pretty much if they've got a spell card in their hand, they gain 1,000 life points every standby phase that they have. So I'd avoid that, unless you want to exactly know what they're going to roughly do and how to combat it. Wrap up this Duelist Kingdom profile Yami Yugi's, I want to give special mention to its Zodia. Pretty much I decided not to put in the deck profile. I sort of put it in the side deck. He only uses it against Kyber in the first still before Weevil throws it over the boat. But yeah, I thought I'd give that a special mention. And there's one other card that I've got to give a special mention to as well that I couldn't locate for the life of me on the TCG player or anywhere, and that was Trike, I believe it's called, or Torike. 1200 attack, 600 defense. It's a 3-star monster. But anyhow, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that Yami Yugi Duelist Kingdom profile. Let's see if we can get a couple of likes for this video. And there's other things too. You can join my Discord, which is in the description down below. But apart from that, I'll see you again with another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile.